Hello, welcome back to the HelloSim channel. This week I decided to build 2 townhouses in a New York City style. I know that I said that I would do the video for doing the inside of the souk, but to be honest I came to recording the voiceover for it and I was just bored and I was more excited that I built these townhouses, so I thought I would do this one instead. And at the moment this channel is so young and tiny that nobody's really watching anyway, so I thought I could kind of get away with it. But the furnished version of the souk is now available on the gallery under Slamcat, which you can find the spelling for at the end of the video. So I wanted to build 2 family homes on the same plot. I'd seen a couple of other people who play The Sims do this, and I've never actually done it before, where I've tried to have 2 families living on the same plot but living sort of separately, and I thought this would be a nice idea to try out. So I had a look at some townhouses online that I wanted to try and emulate, but ended up kind of creating something that fitted into my Sims that I've created a little bit better. So I've got the house on the left, which is going to be the home of 2 sisters that have just aged up, and then the townhouse on the right with the blue door is their parents, who are now getting pretty old, so they are going to be grandparents soon, hopefully, and also it means I can kind of keep my eye on them, but they're retired and they're a little bit boring to play now, so this means that I can keep everybody together. So I just created some 2 tall townhouses. It doesn't fit perfectly in with where I built it in the Sims world, because it probably would have been better to build maybe in the retail area. Rather than on the left there you can see the Miss Honey's cottage I built from Matilda, and on the right is the converted church. So, but it doesn't matter, you can place it wherever you want. I'm just putting in the staircases, and it didn't put the ceiling on when I built the walls around. I'm not entirely sure why it doesn't do that yet. I'm still, like I said, relatively new to The Sims 4, so I'm just working my way through it, but it didn't really work. So I had to put that on manually, and then I'm figuring out where I want all the rooms upstairs. Normally I build the first floor, decorate it, and then go upstairs. This is one of the first houses where I've built the whole outside and the rooms and everything completely finished, and then started doing the inside decor. So that was kind of an interesting way of doing it for me, and I was messing around with the ceiling here and it started looking a bit too like an English house with just one big roof. So I think what I ended up doing was making a flat roof. I did think I could kind of have an attic room up there, but then I realised I hadn't built any walls inside to do that. So I was going to start with the whole thing, and then I just realised I couldn't be bothered. So I ended up just building, I can't remember what I ended up doing. I think completely flat roof, and then, and then like a little access. You know, when you watch Friends, that episode where they got stuck up outside because they were watching the stars or something, and because that door got blocked. So that kind of thing, like an access door to the air conditioning units and things. Pretty dangerous up there, but pretty fun if you wanted to hold a social event or something, to get barbecues and chairs and things up there and some music. I made it a bit narrower because it started to look a little bit like a castle, and then I put some windows on to try and make it a little bit more modern. What I really enjoyed about doing this build is the colours that I used inside. So I wanted to make sure that I used the wallpaper that has the skirting board, the really thick white skirting board, and I wanted to use really bright colours and theme each room in a different colour, which I usually don't do. So I usually have more of an eclectic anything goes sort of style, but I really enjoyed doing it. I'm just building the fire escapes now, which is also the access up to the roof part of the building, and then the back doors lead into the backyards, which are separated from each other. At first I was just going to leave it more open as if it was going straight out onto the street, but I thought these are quite wealthy townhouses, so that it would be good for them to have a little backyard area. So at the moment I'm just putting the windows on randomly without seeing where they go in the rooms inside, so I do end up changing the placement of the windows a little bit when I start decorating to make it easier to put cushions, to make it easier to put curtains on and things like that. And then I just kind of hide the trees down the side to mask the pathway. So here I'm just figuring out this one on the right hand side, you go straight into the living room, which one's through to the dining room and then to the kitchen, and then in the one on the left hand side there's a corridor straight through to the back, so a hallway, sorry. So they do look quite different inside, and I couldn't fit everything onto this one video, so I recorded a separate video where I finished decorating the second house. So that's where I am so far. And then I wanted 2 different back gardens because this is the grandparents. I put in some like little climbing area for the grandkids, and I think I add a barbecue for them later on. And these are the younger ones, so I wanted more of a party area. So I put in some seating, and then this whole area I made into a tiny pool area. And then I paved the whole thing, but I might put some planting back in there later on. And then doorways so that they have an actual fire escape, so if they had to come down the fire escape they could actually get out, which I nearly forgot to do. And then this is the dining room. This was the inspiration for the whole build. I wanted a really cool dining room at the front of a townhouse that could have a really long table. So that's what I started off by doing. And this one is a blue and orange dining room. That was the theme, the colour theme for this. You can see the bright red hallway next to it. And that was, I got that idea from the red doorway. So like I said, every room has a very strong colour theme, which I've never really done before. And I got the inspiration just from this wallpaper that has a really thick skirting around it. So you can see I've already coloured each of the rooms, and I have a general idea of what each room is going to be. So this is the grey kitchen, but I accentuated it with green. It has a very strong green theme with some gold in it. Now, if you download the game, I have played on this with my family, and you actually need to pick up that whole table and move it into the middle a bit more because they can use it, but then if they go into those 2 chairs next to the window, they get stuck. So you have to pick up the whole table and just move it into the middle a bit more, and then everybody can walk around it no problem. So that's one of the things that I discovered in my gameplay. I quite like the green curtains. It looks sort of like a 60s type kitchen, and then this purple living room at the back. I kept it quite dark, but I added some bright colours, so I really like the colour wheel idea of contrasting colours. So I did purple and a bright acid yellow. I really like this living room. I added some flowers, I added a fireplace at the back because it's sort of a corridor to the outside, to the fire escape into the backyard. Lots of lamps. I thought it was a kind of cool, sort of modern living space. I did this all quite quickly actually, although I've had to take 2 videos worth. Once I'd actually done the building, the decorating of the inside didn't take very long. So, and I've had loads of fun playing with this house in my game. I really enjoyed having 2 families together at the same time and running 2 families. This is the final bit of this video. But actually, whatever happens in this bedroom, I end up changing it anyway because at first I thought this could be the parents' bedroom if they stayed, and then I thought that's stupid, they live next door. So I ended up changing it completely into one of the young adult girls' bedrooms, and I made it a little bit more modern, but still quite pretty and pastel, so just ignore this. These are, well, coming up in a second, is going to be the shots of what I've done so far, and then I'm going to go straight into recording the second video. So this is the townhouse from the outside at the front. This is the back, the 2 backyards, and for house number 1, that's the red hallway that just needs finishing decorating. The dining room area coming up to the 1960s green kitchen and then the living room. So I hope you join me straight away into the second video, and I will show you how I finish decorating the houses. Thank you for watching, bye!